Hey everybody, my name is Sister Roth, Alyssa Roth, Professor Roth, whatever you want to call me, but I am your instructor this semester and I am very excited to be teaching and learning alongside of you. Um, so hopefully each of you got my email that I sent out on Friday or Saturday, and we're able to look that over and look over this semester. And I hope you're super stoked because I have had a ton of fun with this in the past, and I'm hoping that you will too. And so I just wanted to send you a little video so you can see my face and get a little bit more familiar with me, as well as we can kind of go over some objectives for the class and hopefully iron out any questions you might have, or anything like that that could be causing you to maybe feel a little nervous. But don't be nervous because it's way fun, and I can promise you that if you do your best, you're gonna be just fine. With this being an introductory class, I don't expect you guys to have something that's totally ready for like the Met, um, art museum or anything like that. So don't even worry about that. I want you guys to have fun with this and to explore and to learn more about how you see design and how this can help you with your various things that you have, with your callings, church callings, businesses, whatever. Maybe having a little bit more of a background of design can help you to communicate more effectively and more beautifully. You guys have probably, well, most definitely heard the term "a picture's worth 1,000 words." I would add to that that how words look is worth 1,000 words. So keeping a professional demeanor as far as not only like how you present yourself, but also how you present your information is going to bring you really far in the world. So anyways, I shared a little bit about me in the email, but if you would like to know a little bit more, here I go. I was born in South Jordan, Utah, and I grew up there. Went to Bingham High School. If any of you are familiar with that, go Miners. And then after high school, I went to Utah State for a couple of years up in Logan, Utah, and that was so fun. And then I ended up going on a mission to Canada, and then after I returned home, I decided to go to BYU and pursue my education in studio art. So I actually, as much as I love design, I think I love art a little bit more, which has actually made some fun challenges for me as far as design goes. So I love doing things like pottery and illustration, and maybe I'll have to show you guys some of my stuff later on in the semester. So that was my first love. I also minored in communications and fell in love with that and communications theory, which how could someone fall in love with a communications theory? I don't know, but I guess I'm a nerd. So I went back to school and got my master's in communication and worked on a project helping communities to know how to help refugees who are assimilating into new cultures, and how the media can hurt or help in that situation. So, yeah, and now I'm here and I'm doing freelance design. I worked at Utah Valley University for a couple of years doing graphic design for them, and now I'm kind of doing my own thing and also teaching you guys. So I can't complain. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about this semester. All right, so here we go. Oh, I wanted to look at this. We're here at the syllabus. If you want to follow along, you can. If not, you can just look at this over when you have a moment. We're actually having a quiz on this on Wednesday, so hopefully you'll have a chance to look at it before then so you can take your quiz. But it's fairly straightforward, telling you that we're going to be focusing on design as far as design elements. You'll learn what those are, and typography and color, and how you can incorporate those into having or into sharing messages that have professional flair and edge to them. And of course, tying this into why does this matter and why does design matter, and hopefully answer some questions that you may have about the creative world and why I just think it's so awesome. So grading scale, fairly normal, as you know, and but I really want to talk about the required materials. So you'll be getting, if you haven't already, an email about how you can access the Adobe Creative Suite that's offered for free from the university for the semester, which is honestly a great deal. When I was in school and I had to purchase my own creative cloud. Oh no, it's downloading something. Stop. I had to purchase my own creative suite, and it was not cheap. So this is really great that they're offering this for free. Last semester, we did have some hiccups with the registering of students into the system, and it took a few weeks for everyone to get their emails and to get set up. We don't need to really worry about Creative Suite, Creative Cloud for another couple weeks. So don't freak out. I'll let you know when you need to freak out. And I'll probably check in with you to make sure that you have it, but don't worry about it quite yet, okay? But we're gonna be talking more about these programs: InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator. Those are all part of the Creative Suite or Creative Cloud. And we'll be dealing with all of those, and you'll learn about why there's differences and why there's different programs for various objectives. So those will be the main thing that you'll need to make sure that you have, but it's free and you should all have. If you have internet access and computers, then you're golden to make sure that you have that Creative Suite. I should say this now. I had a couple of students last semester with the coronavirus who were unable to use campus computers and were kind of thrown for a loop. So if you're in a similar situation, please let me know so that we can, work something out. Or if you really don't have access to a computer, you may want to consider taking this another semester, but we can work through those details. And then Microsoft Word, we're not going to be using this for any specific projects, but I do recommend that you have it so that you can have that as a back plan B, I would say, for exporting PDFs, things like that. And then of course we have our textbook, which is the Non-Designer's Design Book, 4th edition. And that you can get through the BYU-I bookstore. I've seen it on Amazon as well. And if you are in another country other than the US and are having issues obtaining your book, also please let me know. But this is a really great book, a really great resource. I'm gonna make my mom read it because she loves design, but the design world isn't necessarily something she's delved in before. So if I recommend it to my mom and I like it, I'd recommend it to anybody. It's a good book, so make sure that you read it. It's going to really break down what we're going to be delving into this semester, and we'll have some quizzes on that throughout, especially the first couple weeks. In fact, we have a quiz on chapters 1 through 5 due on Saturday, April 25th. So that's coming up, and fear not, that sounds like a lot. 1 through 5, it goes by pretty quick. Okay, so that is required materials, and I'm going to go over the modules so that you can see week by week what we're going to be looking at. I just want to point out university policy for online courses are no late work. So you do have the option of having 1 mulligan or 1 late. You can turn in a mulligan with 1 late assignment or late project. I've had students in the past who use their mulligan on like a 3-point project, and of course I'm like, okay, you can use that, but I would recommend, if you're going to use your mulligan, save it for something with a little bit more points, a little bit more depth to it so that you can save your bacon. Okay, so let's talk about modules. So this is in your tab here. I'm in your Canvas. You can access your Canvas login through the BYU-I website. And after I've logged in, this is the screen that I get. I'm looking at a student view right now. So click on your modules, and this is going to be a sweet breakdown of everything that you need to know. You got your welcome, your syllabus, about your Adobe programs, etc. I like looking at modules better than looking at my calendar, actually. The calendar feature is fantastic, but I really like modules because it just breaks it down. So we are going to start off afresh with our design principles. You're going to be reading about those in chapters 1 through 5 of your book, as well as syllabus. So that's what we're looking at this week. I'll go over a little bit more of that in my announcement. I'll type it out for you. And then the week after, week 2, we're going to start talking about color and how that adds or subtracts to your design depending on what your desired outcomes are. And we're gonna, I forgot something on week 1. I'll come back to that. So we're also going to be setting up our blogs. So we will post periodically posts about design elements and different projects that we have based on if we're in Adobe InDesign or Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop. You're going to have design elements that go along with those programs, and you're going to write blog posts about that. That might sound scary. It's really not. I have some good examples for you to kind of give yourself some guidelines. But it's important for you to, this very first time, so week 2, paying attention to your blog setup and making sure that it's set up properly. They have really great instructions on the, like if you click in here on the blog setup, it's got some real clear instructions for you. So if you follow those, you can't go wrong. But if you do, you can always ask me, and I'll be happy to help. And so fear not the blog posts. They sound perhaps scary, especially if you've never set up a blog before, but it's a great way for you to practice marketing yourself online. A lot of designers will use blogs in order to showcase their work. And so the university wants to make sure that you have that chance to showcase your work as well. So going back to week 1, I told you I'd go back. We're going to be doing this other thing called VoiceThread orientation. And VoiceThread is how we are going to have the opportunity to share our work with each other and also do our critiques. So critiques is another scary thing with design. Design is just scary. No, I'm kidding. And critiques don't have to be scary. It's scary feeling like someone's going to tell you that you did something wrong, or what if they don't like it and they say something mean and I'm crushed and my soul has been sucked out because my design wasn't what the great, amazing thing that I thought it was. That is not the point of a critique. Critiques are to showcase our strengths, but also show how we can improve. And if we were in a normal class setting where we were talking to each other face to face, what we would normally do is have everyone print out their project, we'd pin it up on a wall, and we'd take turns with each one talking about it and saying all the things that are really strong visually about it and some things that we can maybe tweak to make them better. And so VoiceThread is kind of this forum that we're going to be able to do that virtually. And it's a fairly easy and clean setup, so fear not with that as well. And we'll be talking more about that later. So I just wanted to tell you guys about the 2 different things we're going to be doing to showcase our work with VoiceThread and with blogs. And it will make sense as we get into it why we have 2. So don't worry about that. And then as we go on, week 3, we're going to delve more into Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, which is a fantastic program if you're interested in doing logos, or it's also great for type. The possibilities are really endless with Illustrator. So we'll talk about Illustrator and why it's an important program to understand in the design world. So we are actually going to be doing that for 2 weeks. As you can see, you're going to create an icon set. So a set of icons, you'll see, I saw someone last semester who made some icons of vegetables. And so we're going to have 2 chances to submit those and make them beautiful and perfect. And I realize that I'm kind of looking to the right of the screen because I'm looking at myself in the corner of my computer screen. So I'll try not to do that. But so the first week we're going to create our drafts. We'll present them on VoiceThread. We'll give each other our critiques. Oh my gosh, stop. And then we'll go back for week 4 and work on them again some more. And then we'll post them again for our final on end of week 4. So you get a chance to make those tweaks that maybe you heard in your voice threads when your peers are like, oh, maybe you should make this line a little less thick or try this color or something. So you'll have that chance to kind of have a second go at it. And that's a similar format that we'll see throughout the semester. When we have a bigger project, you're going to have 2 weeks to work on it so that you can perfect it. And so moving on, then we're going to be talking about photography and type. We'll be in the book once again, week 5, and we'll be doing another blog post about what we learned with photography and type. And then we'll be diving into InDesign, which is our layout and like print program. So if you're interested in magazines or larger layouts, booklets, books, InDesign is your friend. And so we'll be 2 weeks with InDesign working on that. And I should mention, when we have our Illustrator InDesign weeks, we're also going to have worksheets that familiarize you with the programs. So don't worry about, I don't know how these work, or I don't know how to use them. We have ways and means to make you learn. Just kidding. But they put together some really great videos and worksheets to help you and familiarize yourself with them. And then after our magazines, we're going to have week 8, which honestly I think is the funnest week we have in the entire semester. And not to overhype it, but we're going to be kind of thinking outside the box and doing some creative activities to help us to gear us up for the following week, which will be in Photoshop working on creative ads. You're going to make your own creative ad like you're in an agency. And so that's going to be really fun. We'll have our Photoshop worksheet and our critiques and our draft and final submissions for Photoshop. And then week 11 is going to be a little bit of a continuation of, well, I would say a conglomeration of what we've learned before. And you're going to have the opportunity of taking an existing ad campaign and adding to it. So I saw people last semester, someone did a Converse ad where they had Converse shoes, and they took this existing campaign and then created a Converse ad using their own photos and typography to make it look like it was part of the same advertising family. And then finally, we have our slide design, which is the ultimate accumulation of our knowledge throughout the semester, where you'll have the opportunity of using all 3 Adobe programs and creating a presentation slide for your campaign, your advertising campaign. And this is great because part of the creative world, part of the really communication world, lots of presentations. And so this is a great way to learn how to make some pretty ones. And that's really it. In the last week is you'll post your final presentation, your slide deck to VoiceThread, and then you're done. And then you're design pros and ready for the next level. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an outline of what you can expect. Don't freak out. We'll take it in bite-sized pieces. Me showing you all of this is just to kind of get your brain, geared up for what to expect. But it's going to be really incremental, and so yeah, don't freak out about it. There's a couple of things I just want to make sure that I share with you. I wrote them down so I don't forget in conclusion of this video. I tend to grade, well, I have technically 7 days to grade your work, and I try to get to them as soon as I can. But you can expect them definitely within those 7 days. I usually get to them 2 to 3 days, depending on what I have going on. Answering emails and messages, you will hear back from me within 24 hours, unless it is a Sunday. I do not work on Sundays, and so if you send me an email that is after I go to bed on Saturday, you'll hear from me on Monday morning, unless it's an emergency. But if it is, then I will get back to you, and hopefully it's no real emergency, because then you shouldn't be calling me, you should be calling 911. So I try to get back to you, like I said, as quickly as possible. The best way to get a hold of me is through email, and you have my email because I sent you an email a couple days ago, and also through Canvas. You can send me a message through your inbox, and that's a great way also to get a hold of me. And that's vice versa. I'll probably get a hold of you. If I need to get a hold of you, I will go through Canvas more times than not. Unless I'm not hearing from you, then I'll resort to email. And then probably the biggest thing that you should be aware of this semester is I live on the announcements feature. So if I have something to say to all of you, it is going to be an announcement. I have sent out a couple emails, mass emails before, but that has been really only in dire circumstances. So if you haven't heard from me in a couple of days, hop on to your Canvas and check your announcements, because chances are I've put one in there. I always do one on Monday. That is my weekly announcement giving an overview of the week. So make sure you check out those. I'll usually include some tips, some tricks, and sometimes some videos of how you can succeed with your weekly assignments. Also, I will post announcements throughout the week, just depending on various needs. If I think of something, or if I feel like you need a pep talk or something. So usually I'll post 2 to 3 times a week. So hopefully you won't get sick of hearing from me, but make sure that you check your announcements. And then another thing that is great, especially when we get into these bigger projects, you're going to come across questions like, in Illustrator, how do I make this circle blend with another circle in order to make a bigger shape? And you're going to get videos on how to do that, but you might have questions that aren't answered in those videos. So we are going to also be using our questions and conversations tabs here in our modules to communicate with each other. So you can just click on that. I'll just do week 1, and looks like my internet is running slow, so hopefully we'll pull up here soon. And then you can just type, your question, how do I do this or whatever, and post it. And the reason why I'm having you do that, rather than always coming to me, is that chances are there's going to be someone who has the same question as you. And so when we're able to communicate with each other, some of your peers might have answers and may get to it close or sooner than I do. And also, it's a great place that you can post videos, YouTube videos. You'll find as a designer, your best friend is going to be YouTube. Someone out there has already faced all the challenges that you have of figuring everything out. And so posting videos here to this forum, this questions and conversations, is going to be helpful to you as well as your peers. And you'll see later, but that becomes an extra credit opportunity for you. So make sure to check out questions and conversations tabs if you have questions, or if your classmates have questions, and I'll be participating on here as well. Don't feel like you can't reach out to me. Definitely do that as well, but I also might refer you back to this if you reach out to me and I see that someone else has already answered that question, if that makes sense. So anyway, if you feel like you have just drunk from the fire hose, I apologize. I recognize that this is a longer video, but I just wanted to make sure that I had the chance for, like I said, for each of you to see my face, get more comfortable with me, but also get that overview. So feel free to reach out to me with questions, and I will be talking to you soon. Again, check your announcements. But I am really stoked for this semester. I love design. That sounds so nerdy, but I really, really, really do. And I have loved teaching it and seeing other people kind of light bulbs turn on, and learning that design has a place in the professional world. And ultimately, I really believe that it is something that is also important to our Heavenly Father. He's the ultimate creator, and he, I know for sure, is going to help you this semester. It's a crazy time. It is so crazy being here at home, working alongside with my husband who's working from home, and being stuck inside all day. But I really believe that we're going to get through it, and hopefully this will be a fun challenge for you to spread your creative wings, if you will, and give something new a try. And so yes, let us work hard and have a good time. So look forward to talking to you guys later, and have a good one. See ya.